Hi guys, welcome to my video. So this is going to be the first video of a series where we try to figure out the best way to make sense of a huge list like this. I mean, 10,000 items isn't really that big, but we're going to go through some sorting algorithms. The first one we're going to do is really simple. It's going to be the bubble sort, obviously. This one is probably the easiest to code, so it's a nice starting place, but it's definitely the slowest one that we could do. Maybe not the slowest, but it's pretty close to the slowest one because it's a little bit... Yeah, so let's go to the whiteboard and figure it out. So let's assume we have this list of numbers, 5, 6, 9, 8, 2, 1, and let's try to sort it. So an easy way to do it, which is the bubble sort method, is every time that a number is bigger than the next number, we just flip them. And we do that every time until the biggest number gets to the end. Now if we do this in practice, we're going to go through this number, check to see if this one's bigger than this one, which is not, so 6 is now our biggest number. Check to see if 6 is bigger than 9, which is not. 9 is our biggest number. And then we're going to compare these two. 9 is bigger than 8, so we're going to have to flip them. And then we're going to go and see if 9 is bigger than 2, we're going to have to flip them. And then see if 9 is bigger than 1, we're going to have to flip them. So we end up with something that looks like 5, 6, 8, 2, 1, 9. Because that 9 is going to be shifted all the way to the end. Now we only have to check this range, right? Because we know that 9 is already sorted. So let's go through it. We get 5, 6, 2, and then 1, and then 8 gets pushed to the end. And then we have 9 left over from before. And then we continue doing the process until we get something that looks like 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9. That took a while. It's going to take a while with the computer too, so that's going to be fun. But it works, it's simple, and it's flawless. Just kidding, it's not flawless. Anyway, so a couple things that we need to consider when we get to the computer. We're going to need to swap. And we're going to need to compare. And then we're only going to compare up to pre-sorted index. Yay! Let's do it! Let's go ahead and make our swap method because we're designated a way to swap. We can't just, pull swap out of thin air. We're going to include a vector, and then we want our first indice that we are going to swap, and then we want the second indice we're going to swap. So in order to swap, we need to have a holder method or holder variable, and we're going to set that equal to our first indice, or our vector at the first indice. So we'll do vect at our first indice. I was supposed to say our vect at our first indice, which is indice 1, like that. And then we're going to swap them like that. Oops. And then we want to put the holder back into our indice 2 because we want that value to be switched. Cool. So now that we have that, we can go into our actual bubble sort. And for this one, all we need to do is pass our... Oh, back up to the swap. We're not going to do anything unless we pass it by reference, right? Yeah, reference. Let's go back down and make another vector. And this one's also going to be passed by reference because we're having a void function. And we're going to do this, call this sort. So our vector's name is going to be sort for this. We need 2 loops. Let's start out with our first loop, int I equals 0. That's an O, 0. And I is less than sort.size. And then we got I++, so that will go through every single one in the list. And then we want to go and do for int j equals 0, and then j is less than sort.size. Now there's a little bit tricky. We want to go up until the last part, right? So we want to go to size minus I, and then since we're going to be looking at the indice ahead, we want to decrease that by 1 so that we offset ourselves properly, so everything gets checked exactly once. So we're going to just do -1. And then we go j++, like that. And now we could go and compare if sort at j is greater than sort at j plus 1. We want to swap them, so we got our swap function. And we can go sort, and then we want J, and then J plus 1. Good stuff. So that should be about it, I believe. If I'm missing something, then we're gonna see it really soon. But that should work. Let's check it out. That looks sorted to me. And let's make sure that the front is okay. That looks good to me. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2. So to compare these, I'm gonna try to clock these. So I'm gonna make our clocking function in this video. I'm just gonna have C time included. Make sure you include C time if you're following along. And I'm gonna go C clock. Nope. Clock T of init time equals clock. So that'll get us our before entering the function time. Now we need to get our after the function being implemented time. And then we'll call that final equals clock minus init time, like that. So that will get this clock minus this clock, so we'll see exactly how many clocks went on during the entire sorting process. And then let's go ahead and make a float to get our time equals final, float of final, float of final, and then divide that by our clocks per second, which is a nice little property that we got in our C time. So now we could just std cout our time, and then we could see exactly how much time it took. And I'll do seconds, and L. There we go. To go through 10,000 items, the bubble sort takes, if we go to the very top where it's printed, 0.546 seconds. And it sounds like a lot of speed, but it's not very fast. Just saying. I did this with 1,000,000, and 1,000,000 with one of the later ones is going to take like a quarter second, so half this time. And the bubble sort's not very fast. Come back next time and we will do a selection sort, which is a little bit faster, not much faster, but it's good for small lists. Bubble sort you don't usually use, so if this is the first sorting thing you've encountered, then welcome to C++. It's a fun place to be. Woo. There's other really easy ways that we could go about this that are much faster. So, if you haven't subscribed, which I'm pretty sure you haven't subscribed because this is the first video on the channel, then subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with a selection sort. See ya!